This is 2D Design with Rob Colvin. We're working on our color assignment where we're focusing on symmetry and asymmetry. I ask you to shoot a photo of your 10 sketches. So here I have loaded my 10 sketches. And I am going to flip them because the photo is upside down. So I would go to Image and Rotation, Image Rotation, and I'm going to flip 180. So there I have it the way I want it. I'm going to start with my Symmetrical Design. Now I want to get my marquee tool and I will choose the design that I am going to create. So I will surround that design with the marquee tool. Don't worry about having everything match up squarely on the sides and the corners because we can adjust that later. So I will go up to Edit and I will copy. Then I will go to File and New, and it knows that I just copied this, so that's what's going to be the size. So then if I do Edit and Paste, there it is. Now what I want to do now is make it square with the edges and also the right proportions. So remember, we wanted this design to be 8 by 12 inches. So first I'm going to make it 8 by 12 inches. So if I go to Image and Image Size, we wanted 150 pixels an inch. So I'm going to make it 150. And then I'm going to make it 8 wide. So you can see it's not quite 12. So we'll fix the canvas size, and then in the next step, I'll click OK. I'm going to zoom down. So now I can adjust the canvas size. So I'm going to go to Image, Canvas Size, and I'm going to make it 12. And I want to make it white. So click OK. So now I can adjust the squareness. So I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to do Free Transform. Now I can transform the sides, pull the lines closest to the edge, and I'll adjust the squareness in the next step. But with Free Transform, I'll get the lines closest to the edge. Now I'm going to go to Edit, Transform down to Skew, and I can adjust my corners to make them square. So I can grab one corner at a time and move one direction at a time. If you try to go both directions, it gets a little wonky, so I'd recommend just moving up first or over first, and then you can see that it's much easier just going in one direction at a time. Now this is a symmetrical design, so a quick way to make a symmetrical design is just cut it in half because it's going to be the same on both sides. So if I press C, or that's for the crop tool over here, then I can grab one of the sides. Remember, this is 8 inches, so closer I get it to 4 inches would be best. That's about half though. I'm going to adjust that. So I'll press return, and now I'm going to Command A to select everything, and I'm going to adjust it to 4 inches. So I'll do Command T for Free Transform, and I'm going to pull it 4 inches. So that's close enough. And then I can do Image and Crop. I'm going to do Command D to deselect, and now I can start my line work. So what I want to do is get my pen tool. I usually just push P for pen. So with my pen tool, I want to go over here and I want it to be on shape. I want it to have no fill in the properties. And on the stroke, I do want a black line. And I'm going to make it 10 pixels wide. So whatever line I make will be 10 pixels wide. So if I start here, I'm going to make this shape. I can make a mark there with my pen, and if I press shift, it's going to make a perfectly straight line. And then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to press shift again to make a straight line, and then back up there. Then I'm going to press return or enter, and now I have that shape. So I want to make this line here. So I didn't get it quite how I want it, so I'm going to press Command, and I can pull that over a bit, and I'll pull that over a bit. And I press return, so I have that line. Now if I want to make this curved line, remember when we've learned about the pen tool, we can make a curve by clicking and dragging. And the curve ends about right here, so I'm going to make it there, and I can adjust that by pressing Command again, and I get a nice curve. Now I want to make a straight line directly vertical, so I'm going to press Shift. And now I have that shape, so I'm going to press return. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to click and drag and end it about there. I'm going to press Command so I can grab the anchor and adjust that. And I'm going to press Shift so I get a nice straight line. Press return, and now I have most of my line. So now I can do this line from this corner to this corner. So it's a little bit off, so I'm going to press Command and make sure those lines go right into the corners. So now we can go over here to the ellipse tool. So we want to get the round ellipse tool. We want to make sure it's going to stroke that ellipse, and we want to make it the same as our others, so we're going to make it 10 pixels wide. So remember, if I press Shift, click and drag, I get a perfect circle. So now I can press return and grab my move tool, and I can move that over. So it's going to tell me that that's about half of the circle, which is what I want. I'll get my elliptical tool again. I'll press Shift and I'll click and drag, and I get the circle I want. Press return, get my move tool and move it over. And then I'll do the same down here. So I'll get the elliptical tool there. I'll press Shift. This is a smaller circle. That's not quite as big as I want it. And I'll press return and get the move tool, which is V on the keyboard, and I'll move that over. It's not quite big enough, so I'm going to do Command T so I can free transform the circle. I'll press Shift and pull a corner to keep my circle proportionally correct, and press V for the move tool, put my circle in position. So now we have all the lines for design. What I want to do is turn off my sketch and turn off my background, and I'm going to make sure one of my lines is selected, and I'm going to layer, and I'm going to say merge visible. So I also want to do select the whole canvas, so Command A. So I'm going to clip all the extra lines that might be out on the periphery that I cannot see. I'm going to do image and crop. So now I can make a symmetrical design by going to image. Wait, first we want to copy this layer. So maybe there's many ways we can copy it. One quick way is Command J. Now that I've copied that layer, I want to go to Edit, and I want to go to Transform, and I want to go to Flip horizontally. So we have a symmetrical design, but that's not what we want, but it will show you. So now we want to go to Image, Canvas Size. Remember, we wanted it 8 inches, so let's make sure our arrows are going to make it that direction. When we expand the canvas, we want it 8 inches. Click OK. And now we're going to grab that layer that we just copied and flipped. So we want the move tool. And we can move that over. Now we have a symmetrical design. So we can merge those two layers. Remember, Command E. E is in elbow. We'll merge those two layers. Now we have our design. We are going to start filling it with color. Why don't we throw away our sketch layer? I'm going to toss it in the trash. Now we'll go to our assignment page for this assignment. For the symmetrical design, we are using a Gamut Mask. A Gamut Mask helps harmonize a color scheme. So if you click on this link here, it will take you to this site, and hopefully you have Flash Player on your computer, and this color wheel will appear. Over here you see you have different shapes of gamut masks that you can choose from. So I want you to pick one of those gamut masks and do a screenshot. So to do a screenshot on a Mac, you press Command, Shift, and then the number 3. So with that screenshot, I'll go to my desktop where the screenshots usually end up on a Mac. Might be in your downloads. Then I will right click on that and I will open it up in Photoshop. And I want to get my polygon tool, and I'm just going to select that shape that I made the mask from, and I will do Command Copy or go to Edit, Copy, and go back to your design and Command Paste. That's Command V, and or if I could go to Edit and then Paste. So there I have my Gamut Mask to use. Let's say you clicked on this link and you don't have Flash Player on your computer and The computer at school will not let you download Flash Player to use on this website, so click here. You'll get a Gamut Mask color wheel. So you click on that, you'll download it. And it will go into your downloads, and you see it right there. You have this color wheel. So what you want to do is open that up in Photoshop, which I have right here already open. And you're going to choose, make your own mask. So if you get your polygonal tool right here, and you could select a certain area. You could also move that around. So make some kind of triangle, move it around. You see you have a mask, so if you could place that there, do Command C for copy, and then go back to your image, and then Command V to paste your Gamut mask onto your design. So now I'm going to get my move tool and move my Gamut mask over. So here's my Gamut mask. Here's my lines. Here's my background. I'll turn it back on. Now I want to start filling my design with color. First I want to get my magic wand. So wand tool, we want the magic wand. So select the magic wand. Pick your lines. So let's say I want to fill up these 3 circles with the same color. So I'm going to select that inside that circle with my wand. Then I press Shift. It will let me add shapes. Hold Shift down and I can add all 3 of those shapes. Then I can press I for my eyedropper. And I can choose a color. So why don't I choose that color? I want to keep my color layers separate, so I want to make another layer specifically for each color layer. So instead of putting it on the background or the lines, make a separate layer for each color. So I'll make another layer to fill. I'm going to go to Edit, Fill, and I'm going to do foreground color because that's the color I just picked. And I'm going to click OK. So it filled there those shapes in this layer with that color I picked. So I'm going to do Command D. D as in dog to deselect. Now I want to go back to my lines and I'm going to pick another group of shapes to fill with a different color. So I'll get my wand or press W and I have my line selected. I'm going to select this shape in here and I think I'm going to press Shift and I'm going to add that color down here in this shape and up here in these 2 shapes. So I'm also going to make another layer for that color. So I have a new layer and I'm going to grab my color picker with I, remember, the letter I, and let's pick another color. I think I'm going to pick a darker value. And then I will do Edit, Fill, and it's foreground color, remember, because that's what he's picked. So I'll do Command D to deselect. I will pick my line layer again. And I will get my wand. And I'll select this shape and press Shift. I select that shape and that shape. And I can get my color picker by pressing I. So then I have my color picked. I'm going to do Edit and Fill. Wait. We forgot to make another layer. So once I have my color picked, I'm going to make a new layer. And then I will go to Edit and Fill, foreground color, because that's what I just picked. Click OK. And I'll do Command D to deselect. Now I will pick another color. Well, first I'll decide what shape. So I'm going to get my wand again, press W. And I go in my line layer. I'm going to select that shape, this shape, and I'm going to select these shapes. And I think I will select this shape. So now I'm going to pick a color with the ink dropper, and I'm going to pick this one, I think. I will make a new layer. I will go to Edit and Fill. It's foreground color, remember? So that looks like this color, and I think they are too close, so I am not going with that. I'm going to pick a new color. I'll go towards a red shade, red violet. So I will go to Edit and Fill, and that looks better. Command D to deselect. Now I'm thinking this green is kind of looking isolated. I'd like to add it somewhere else. So I'm going to go back to my lines, get my wand with W, and I'm going to select this shape, that shape, this shape, that shape, and that shape. Now that I have those shapes selected, I'm going to go back to that green layer. That's where I will place my color. So I will go to Edit and Fill, and I didn't pick my green. So I could, remember I didn't use color picker yet, so I want to go to color and pick that color, click OK, OK. Command D to deselect, and I have this shape here that I think I'm going to put some blue in there to tie some more blue in the center. So I will go back to my line layer. I will select that shape with the magic wand. I will go back to that blue layer, and I will pick my eyedropper, pick that color, go to Edit, Fill, go back to foreground color, click OK. So now I can turn off my Gamut Mask, and there I have a symmetrical design for the assignment. So now I'm going to save all my layers because I like saving layers because it helps me remember how I did things if I ever want to go back and look. So I'll put symmetry layers, and I'm going to save it in the place for this assignment. Then I am going to flatten it. So go to Layer, Flatten Image. And I'm going to just discard my hidden layers, which is my Gamut Mask, which I don't want anymore. Now, since it's flat, I'm going to save it. Save as. I want everybody to put their name on their assignment. I get all these assignments and I download them and I have no names on them. It's very difficult to keep track of, so put your name on it. I put my name on it. I'm going to save it as a JPEG. So my name and symmetry. Just symmetry would be fine. With your name first would be most helpful. So I'm going to save it. And there we have a finished assignment. We are done.